Yeah, it shows me recording.
Okay. Yes, this is WIKISPEED January 30th, 2025. Go ahead. Okay.
Want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That's Michael Olchuk, Saskatoon. I have not very much to report. I posted to stand up for last week, and my Maslow 4 CNC upgrade, tentatively called version 4.1 from Kickstarter, was received last week. It was strange. They did an update, and they said, "Oh yeah, things are being shipped, and we'll be getting tracking information to you and stuff." And then the next day, it arrived. And there was UPS, what's that, customs and duty owing. So thankfully, Andrew was home and he got it paid and stuff. But um, it would have been nice if they'd have at least sent us an email saying, "Oh, by the way, it's coming air," because the last time it came all on a big sea can, and then it was distributed from the U.S. So it took weeks for it to get to us, and this time it was literally the next day.
Wow.
So it was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, it was nice, but and I haven't installed the upgrade yet, but it's kind of cool. Next week, I am unfortunately still for the last 3 months hoping to get the Raspberry Pi Docker running and Sunfounder raw software running again. And with the Maslow 4, I am hoping that I will get it actually installed onto the router and maybe do a test cut. And blocks, just my wife's to-do list. That's about it for me. Back to you.
Okay. So why don't you go next, David?
Okay. I mentioned in the email that I had completed my 3D printed filament roll rack, and my next project that I've been working on, I make these project boxes for my electronic projects that have screens that you can read whatever information you're getting, and a bunch of holes for knobs and everything. And I've been making these for my own projects for a while, and so I decided to go ahead and start selling the 3D printer files for these things, the STL files. And so for the last week, I've been working on variations on it, different numbers of holes, different types of screens, different sizes of boxes, the whole thing, and to get together, a dozen or 2 dozen or so files to put together. I think I've basically completed that. I think I've got everything I need. I'm all set to start packaging it up. I've also been working on this very simple little thing. It's to suck the air out of bags, these things where you vacuum seal your food or your 3D printer rolls. And it's a very simple thing. It's got a kind of a flat hole goes through. And the idea is you can zip the thing up almost all the way up with just this at the end. Put a vacuum hose on this thing, suck it all out, and then just quickly pull it out and zip that last thing up, and you've got a vacuum sealed thing with just this little thing. Let's see. Those are basically the projects I've been working on this last week or something. Next week is basically just send off the boxes, test this thing, and not quite. Again, one of these days I'll get back to finishing my book.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like coming week. And any blocks?
Yeah, well, blocks are pretty much the same, basically life.
Okay.
All the things you have to do. Doctor's appointments, cooking. In fact, right now, the reason I was off was I forgot about this meeting and I didn't have lunch, and so I'm getting very hungry here, and so I was out there sticking stuff in the oven, And so in about, 15 minutes or so, I'll have to run out and put some more stuff on there and be back and forth here. But basically, blocks are just all the things you have to do, like laundry and shopping and cooking and life in general. So it just takes up time. Somehow or other, there just is never enough time in the day to do everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go. It's Lauren Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. And the past week, not too much. But I'll say a little more about that when I get to blocks. I did sit down and yeah, actually this week I did sit down and look again at the image. I haven't downloaded the image. What we're kind of scrambling to do is in the coming week then is to get a working a working image of Docker and to get the tank. We got two Sunfounder cars and a tank of a different brand, and we just want to get. We have some video, so that's good, but we just want to get to the point where we're comfortable with the way of working. And I'll talk in crosstalk a little bit about the state of robotics and open source robotics. And blocks, well, for me, yeah. So I removed a block because I had a cleaner / organizer in for 5 days. She just left, and that was why I was late starting the Zoom. And I have some questions about Zoom I want to straighten out in crosstalk. But anyways, I kind of my floor is now dusted. Because I had a bunch of electronic stuff on the floor, so I got that off the floor under my desk, and now there's not a huge amount of dust floating. I got an air cleaner too, which is progress. Helps me think straight, and yeah, so that's it for me. So I've removed more blocks than I have. So back to Michael for retro. Yeah.
Okay, I got 1 point out of 4 for last week and 1 for attending stand-up, so I'm going to give myself a 3. Team is 9. We're rolling along. It would be nice if we were making more progress, but at least we're doing stand-up again, so that's good. And process improvement, not really a process improvement. So I guess on to David.
Well, I completed the project box things, and I did orders, did some things with this, and so I guess I'll give myself an 8 or so for things. I have such a long to-do list or something. It gets frustrating, but I'll give myself an 8.
Okay, what do you give the team?
Well, I'm afraid that I missed a lot of the discussion while I was in the other room, so I really can't evaluate the team.
Yeah, okay.
It sounds like you got some work done with getting some blocks removed and everything. So I guess the team, I'll give you an 8 or something, just based on ignorance.
Yeah. So I'll give myself a 5 and a 9 for the team, and process improvement is just the things we've been talking about. So that's it, and I'm going to end the recording. Is there anything crosstalk that you want on the record? Okay, all right. So I'll stop the recording.